Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you hear me all right?
I can, yeah. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
great. Yeah, you're all good.
All right, perfect, perfect.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. Is it cool if I jump right in with my questions?
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. So first off, your acting career began when you were very young. How did you get into acting?
Well, I always loved like musical theater and like singing and dancing. There's home videos of me in like my underwear when I was three, uh, dancing to like cats and stuff. And then I got into musical theater when I was six. I wanted to join a drama class. And then I did a few shows there, and then I got my first professional musical theatre role at 8 years old, which was Jeremy Potts in the Australian tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was incredible. And then from then I got into screen acting the year after.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, do you remember the moment where you were like, yes, this is what I want to do with my life?
Good question. Um, I think I mean when I did my first show when I was six, I was like, oh yeah, this is like awesome. And I really want to do it because I loved it so much. But then when I got my professional role at eight, I was kind of like, I can actually do this as like a proper like, a career, because obviously I was like paid for it stuff and I was like, okay, I can actually make a living out of this, which is super sick. And so yeah, I think that was the moment where I was like, oh yeah, I know I want to like do this as a career and I want to do it forever.
All right. Your most recent project was Children of the Corn. It's been out for about a month and a half now, something like that.
Yeah.
But I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I'm glad. That's good.
But for those of people who haven't seen it, what is it about briefly?
Um, 1 second. Sorry. Can you hear that construction noise?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's all good. Okay. Sorry. I'll keep going. um, what is it about? Well, it's obviously a horror film. It's a kind of a remake slash prequel to Stephen King's original short story, Children of the Corn. And it's based around this teenage girl, Bolin Williams, who basically is going to this university in Boston, and she lives with her brother Cecil, who I play. And they live in this small town, and it's kind of it's very kind of gloomy and it's kind of everyth's the corn is being ruined essentially by like all the pesticides and stuff. And this 12-year-old girl Eden basically doesn't want them to get rid of the corn. And so basically there is some tension there, and then that builds throughout. Yeah.
Tension's a good word for it, for sure.
Yeah. That's an interest. Yeah, I think yeah, for one, for lack of a better word, tension. For everybody who hasn't seen it.
Prior to joining this project, had you seen the original?
Um, I had not seen the original or heard of Children of the Corn when I initially got the audition. It was just untitled. I didn't know what the project was that I was auditioning for. But then when I got the callback, I flew down to Sydney. And I went to Fox Studios to do that. That was an in-room audition, and it was then when they basically told me that it was Children of the Corn they were doing. So then when I got back home, I read the book and watched the original and did all my research. So yeah.
Um, how do you think this one compares to the original?
Uh Good question. They're so different, I feel like. Obviously, some of the elements are the same. Like he who walks behind the rose is in this one, and this actually the monster is seen for the first time in this film, which is exciting. Obviously, there's children, there's corn. Um, but it's the stories are very different. This one, our one, we wanted to focus on the kids a lot more instead of the adults as like the victims, we kind of put a twist on it so the adults are kind of the ones ruining it and the children are victims of that. and so they just have to do what it takes to make sure that basically their home is safe. So that they're different in that way. But yeah, we the vibe of this one, there is kind of a nostalgic feel to it. It does have like the pace and stuff, and cinematography and like the music elements of it. It's very it kind of it gives a nod to the original film and different horror films of that time period as well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love when there's little callbacks to
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, but it's good to, obviously honor the short story, and then for fans of the original and stuff like that, they can come to this one and go, oh, I can see the similarities there, and it feels like the same world.
How did you prepare to play Cecil?
Uh well, he's obviously an original character created by Kurt Wimmer, who wrote the script and directed the film as well. And so to prepare for it, there wasn't that much like research that I did per se, apart from obviously watch the film and read the book. But I really, it was just working with him that helped bring the character to life. We talked about it a lot. Um, and there was time for that. He definitely allowed for like creative freedom and collaboration. It wasn't just like, because he created the characters as well, it was very easy for him to explain to us what his thoughts of the characters were, and kind of how they behaved and things like that. And so we developed Cecil together. And so yeah, that was kind of the preparation, if you can, yeah, call it that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Um, and you being Australian, Cecil is not. How do you vocally prepare to play different accents?
Well, I actually, both my parents are English, so I probably sound a little bit, I sound a little bit English, I think, as well. But some of my family is American, and some of the roles I've done in the past, like my first short film when I was 9, I actually played the young Walt Disney in a short film, and I had to do like a Southern accent, so that was cool. But yeah, it was really, I love watching films and watching different actors' performances, and I kind of just picked it up naturally, I guess. Like I didn't have a specific vocal training, or I didn't have like an accent coach really. But there was an accent coach in the rehearsal process of shooting Children of the Corn. I had a sit down session with her, and she was incredible, and we just went over the lines and stuff, and made sure that it was all good to go. Yeah.
Nice. Is it easy for you to kind of switch into different accents then?
Yes, I find this very interesting. When I play roles with American accents, I find it easier to do that than my normal accent for some reason. I don't really know why it is, but it's super interesting, and I just kind of had that realization recently. So I find it pretty easy to switch in and out of accents. Like when we cut, I just go back to my normal accent when we talk about it, and then when they say action, I just put it on. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I just have an Ohio accent, so that's kind of all I can do.
That's sick. That's cool. That's great.
Um, and outside of acting, I hear that you're also a musician. What kind of music do you create?
I've experimented with a lot of different styles. There's a couple that I want to release soon. But it's really just developing the kind of sound that I want to put out there, or first, because I want to explore all different genres and styles in screen as well as music. And so right now, recently I've been creating a lot of like pop kind of music and R&B kind of stuff. I've experimented with some just straight hip hop. And yeah, I started singing when I was 6 years old, and had a vocal coach for a lot of my life. And so we've kind of been able to play with different genres. And I've played piano as well. I started playing piano when I was 6, so I have a lot of kind of music theory, and so that really comes in handy as well when it comes to making music. Yeah, and it makes the process a lot easier, I feel like. So yeah, I feel like I can switch out of different styles. So right now I'm leaning towards kind of pop and R&B.
That's really cool. Does your
Yeah.
musical theater background have any influence on your music?
I have created a couple musical theater kind of songs, but obviously not as good as the professionals. But yeah, I love musical theater, and obviously I've grown up with it. So I respect it and appreciate it a lot, and yeah, I feel like naturally that does play a little bit into my music because I've been around that for so long. Um, but yeah, I also like to branch out. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Where can we find your music?
I have created a couple songs, but I am releasing my first single very soon, so none of it is released just yet. We're just making sure that we're happy with everything, me and my team. And yeah, we're very excited for it to come out.
Nice. When it does come out, is it going to be like on Spotify and platforms like that?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, wherever. Yeah, everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so I also hear that you're very passionate about supporting wildlife charities.
Mm.
What charities do you support, and why is this something that you're so passionate about?
Good question. Well, I support World Animal Protection. That's a main one that I've worked with in the past. I created my first fundraiser for it when I was 8 years old, making bookmarks and starting a fundraiser there. And then just last year, me and my brother Kieran actually created another fundraiser for the World Animal Protection, creating bracelets and little things like that and key rings and stuff, which was super fun. Um, and I've also worked with the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary in Queensland, and that was incredible. And I'm obviously the obvious thing is that it's obviously a I'm so sorry, I'm fumbling on my words. Yeah. It's One Animal Protection was really really very giving with their time and their energy, and they work towards getting the wildlife out of danger, and maintain keeping the kind of near endangered species alive. And yeah, that it I have pets of my own, um and so I obviously care about them a lot. um and so yeah, that's kind of why I do it.
Well, that's awesome. That's
Mm.
awesome. I have pets too, and I really like helping out in these kinds of ways.
That's great.
Are there things that we can do uh, to help these organizations?
Definitely. Well, you can go onto the World Animal Protection website, and there's a donation button, and you can also create your own fundraisers and things like that. But yeah, even a simple donation is more than enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Um, what's up next for you?
I cannot say too much right now. But right now, Children of the Corn is online. And I've also got The Curious Case of Dolphin Bay, which is on Disney Plus. And it was on Disney Channel for a bit as well. And so you can watch those in the meantime.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Um, and if we wanted to stay up to date with you and your work and your music, what social media platforms can we follow you on?
I'm most active on Instagram, which is just Jayden McGinlay. You can follow me on Facebook, which is also just Jayden McGinlay. I have a Twitter, which is Jayden_McGinlay. And I also have a website, which is www.jaydenmcginlay.com.
Perfect.
I remembered all that.
All right. Well, that was all the questions that I have for you. But is there anything else that you would like to add about Children of the Corn or your music?
I mean, I don't think so. You asked very good questions. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you again for chatting. I love the music and the movie, and I'll definitely check out
I
your
was like,
music
oh,
when it
that's
comes
so
out.
nice. If you've heard it, that's great. No, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You have a great rest of your day.
Amazing. You too. Cheers.